Hello, my name is Sahil, and I have been at Whitlow for more than 5 years. This is my 6th year at Whitlow, and I'm in 5th grade. We have done many TGAL projects, such as water, beehives, composting, and frogs. I want to talk about composting because that's really important. Every day at lunchtime when we're done, we would collect all the biodegradable materials that we can, like eggshells, and we would dump it in near the compost area behind where the chickens are. So, and then the bags would also be biodegradable, so it wouldn't take like a long time to like break down. And in 5th grade, we are measuring dissolved oxygen levels, and we just test the water and see how it is. If it's bad, we will tell the county and they'll do something about it. But if it's good, we'll just tell them, they'll record it, and then we'll be done. TGAL is a very good privilege from our school. We get to do stuff that many different schools don't get to, and instead of just reading science books, we get to hands-on, we get to learn different stuff, like 3rd grade composting and 5th grade water. So I think TGAL is a very good thing that you can learn from.
Hey, I am Miss Kokenhauer here at Whitlow Elementary, and in kindergarten, we get to take care of the Whitlow chickens. Here's one of our beautiful hens. When we're taking care of the chickens, we're trying to think of things and ways to make them happy. Do happier chickens lay more eggs? I don't know, but that's what we are trying to find out. So every kindergarten class has got to come up with one thing to do for the chickens to see if it makes them happy. And if they're happy, maybe they're laying more eggs. Ooh, put her down. All right, our friend here is gonna come in the coop, and we're gonna get our eggs out today. Wanna go grab them? Ooh, we got a lot today. How many eggs do we have? I'll hold this and you grab the eggs. You count them as you put them in. How many? 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5. All right, can you tell us a little bit about the chickens? What have you learned about chickens? What have you learned about the chickens?
That they can go in there and you don't let them out in the morning because they'll get lost.
They'll get lost in the morning. What else? How are we going to make our chickens happy? What did we decide we're going to do this?
Put a light in the house.
Put a light in where?
In the house.
In the house. We're going to put a light in the house. Do you think it's going to make them happy? What do you think they'll do if they're happy?
They'll lay more eggs.
You think they'll lay more eggs? Well, I guess we'll see. Do you remember which month had the most eggs?
April?
Yes, last year April was one of the high ones, but this year September has been our highest month. So we are trying to beat the egg count of September. They had 157. Do you remember how many we've collected so far? We've had 10 plus 10. 20. We've collected 20 eggs so far. So we have a long way to go, don't we?
Yeah, can you go get the light from in the classroom and put it in?
We'll put it in this afternoon. High five. So what are we taking care of? What animal are we taking care of?
Chickens.
Chickens. And what are we doing with those chickens?
Making them happy.
Making them happy. Well, if they're happy, what happens if they're happy? What do we want them to do?
To lay eggs.
Lay eggs. And what is behind us? What's this chart behind us? What's it showing us?
Which month have the most
Which month has the most what?
eggs?
Which month has the most eggs? Which month has the most eggs so far? Which month has the most eggs?
September.
September. And we're in the month of
October.
And how many eggs have we collected so far?
21.
21. And we got some today. How many do we get to add to our chart?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
26.
Ooh, good adding. You did that very quickly. All right, you can add our eggs on our chart. Good job. Good job. Very good. So now we have how many eggs total?
26.
26. What are we going to do to make the chickens happy this month? What did we decide?
Put light in the chicken coop.
Put a light in the chicken coop. You think it's going to work? Yeah. You think we should do anything else to make them happy? No. Okay. Thank you.
Track weather because we are learning about weather. Good morning, Willow. Today's going to be a high of 76 and a low of 54. What is your name and your... Bye, Willow.
My name is Jessica Losego, and I'm a meteorologist or research scientist at Georgia Tech Research Institute.
What is the best part of your job?
It's coming out and getting to deploy sensors that we know later will collect really fun and useful data, and also getting to meet kids when we see them around too.
What are you putting on the roof of Whitlow Elementary, and why are you putting it on the roof?
We are putting what's called a lightning mapping array unit. So it's a weather sensor that's going to listen for lightning that's going on all around your school and all around North Georgia. And the reason we're doing that is we want to learn about how the lightning works in North Georgia, understand it better, and figure out if we can predict storms a little bit better. So it's basically taking data every time there's a zigzag in a lightning bolt. It's telling us that that's happening, and we get pretty pictures that show us all that data.
Do all of your experiments work, or do they sometimes fail?
They sometimes fail, and that's what happens in science. And then you just figure it out and try something new.
When your experiments do not work like you wanted them to, what do you do?
Well, we try to figure out what's wrong first of all, because sometimes it's not really obvious what is wrong. So we try to figure out what's wrong, and then we come up with another idea of what might fix that. And then sometimes that's wrong too. And then we come up with another idea to try to fix it, and then that's wrong too. So you can kind of see.
Keep on doing it.
Yep, we keep trying, keep coming up with new ideas. You're not very often going to get everything right on the first try with science. So.
Yes. Why is it important to learn more about the weather?
Well, if we know more about the weather, that usually means that we can predict storms better. So we can figure out maybe when a tornado will come down sooner, better warnings. We can figure out how to keep people safer with warnings and just telling them ahead of time that maybe there's lightning coming or there's a tornado coming, and getting everybody somewhere safe, basically. So. Anything else?
Nothing. No.
No? Okay. Well, thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
harmful. Soil has organic and inorganic compounds.
Soil can be polluted by humans from toxic waste. Some of this comes from industries and proper disposal of waste and pesticides.
Toxic chemicals can get in the soil from decompositions and organisms.
Have you ever wondered what we should be recycling at Whitlow? What is it that we are supposed to put in those blue bins? The blue recycling bin, each classroom should include these things. Broken down cardboard boxes.
Empty and crushed aluminum cans.
Empty plastic containers with the recycling symbol and numbers 1 through 7.
Almost all paper. Notebook, construction, copy, newspaper, and magazines. Think empty, clean, and thoughtful.
But what are some things we should not throw in the blue recycling bins?
Please don't throw paper towels.
Tissues.
Plastic Ziploc bags.
Snack wrappers.
Aluminum foil.
Or laminate throw in the recycling bins.
These must go to a trash. Thank you for helping us keep our earth beautiful.
You're going to learn how to classify vertebrates and invertebrates. And when you come to the creek once, you're going to get some nets and try and catch invertebrates. And you're going to want to put them where there's lots of flow in the stream and where it's moving a lot. And most of the time you're going to find stoneflies, mayflies, crayfish, and in good circumstances, salamanders. And this matters because if you have lots of microinvertebrates, then that means your creek is healthy and a great environment. But if you find things like leeches and not lots of microinvertebrates, then that means that your creek isn't healthy, too healthy. Another thing when you come down the creek is you take some observations, like the level of the water. Most of the time it'll be low. And you'd also take the water clarity. Most of the time it's all clear, and then in some spots after it rains it might be muddy. You also look at the water color. Again, there's not really any color, it's clear. You'd also look at the water surface. Sometimes when in some spots where the water is still, there'll be foam on it. And some spots there'd be oil on the top of the surface because of the construction when they were building a new neighborhood. The water odor, you just like smell around, and most of the time it'll be natural. And then at the end, we'd always clean up, look around and see if there's any trash. And if there was trash, we'd just clean it up and put it in a bag and then just put it away. In second grade, when we came down here, the creek would always be not really big, but it'd be a lot bigger than it is now. And when we learned about erosion, we learned that because of the new neighborhood construction and the erosion coming down and the sediments being rolled down by the rain, we connected the dots and realized that because of that, the creek became more narrow.